biggest icon in wrestling. Hollywood Hogan. Man, I've been watching a lot of WCW from 1997 lately, and there's so much Hogan on here. It's really interesting to watch this guy, and I was never just separating, the man and the character. Even the character, I was not the biggest Hogan fan. I liked Hogan. You weren't necessarily a Hogan fan at all, but like to me, he was just too dominant. I always like someone who's a bit of an underdog a lot of times, like the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant.
We're not here to talk about our likes. What we're here to do, you got to ask yourself, what you going to do, brother, when the legacy of Hulk Hogan runs wild on you? When you think of professional wrestling, one name instantly comes to mind. It's Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
From red and yellow to black and white, from body slams to box office hits, Hogan defined an era of professional wrestling and then redefined another era and changed the wrestling business forever. That can't be denied.
No, not at all. It's funny. I was listening to Monday Night Raw last night, and AJ Styles actually was quoted as saying Hogan was so big, when you told people you wrestled, they would just say, "Oh, is that like what Hulk Hogan does?"
Exactly. He was the face of WrestleMania. Before Shawn Michaels was Mr. WrestleMania, Hogan was the face of WrestleMania. Absolutely. I mean, he headlines the first 9 WrestleManias, including unforgettable moments where he wrestles Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 fans in the Pontiac Silverdome. He passes the torch to the Ultimate Warrior, who then drops the torch and catches his boots on fire. He then, WrestleMania 18, even later in his career, icon versus The Rock. How huge is that?
Yes.
WrestleMania's success and survival in those early days is directly tied to Hulk Hogan's drawing potential and power.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you're talking about the face of WrestleMania. You're talking about coming in, WrestleMania 18. But before that stop at WrestleMania 18 and all that stuff, there was another thing he did.
Yeah. And that to me is one of the most important segments that we can talk about, the ability to reinvent himself.
Yes.
In 1996, Hogan had become as stale as humanly possible. I don't think there were many people cheering for the yellow and red anymore.
No, and he was in CW at this point, but
absolutely.
And some of those southern markets too, especially, were not big into Hogan already, who had grown up in, Flair territory.
But is there anybody who wasn't stunned by the whole world who, when he turned heel and joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to form the New World Order?
It made a lot of sense, like in retrospect, like he reinvented himself, but it was so shocking because the red and yellow and the good guy, I remember thinking, there's no way it can be Hogan. I remember saying that to you. Oh, there's no way it's going to be Hogan. And you'd be like, no, they're not going to do Hogan. They'll probably do Sting, I think I remember you saying to me when we were younger, like, they should do Hogan, but they won't do Hogan. They'll do Sting.
And Hollywood Hogan, quite frankly, brought a new layer to his character, proving that he wasn't one-dimensional. He wasn't just this one character that we had grown up on. He had the ability to do more than that. The NWO angle helped WCW and quite frankly was responsible for them finally beating the WWE for 83 straight weeks in the Monday Night Wars. It shaped the wars.
It really did. It changed wrestling a lot. The whole Monday Night Wars changed wrestling, whether it's contracts and people making more money, everything. And it really catapulted with Hogan turning at Bash at the Beach.
Well, I know we're going to go into legacy, but quite frankly, Hogan showed longevity by evolving, becoming one of the greatest villains in wrestling history and ushering in a grittier, more adult era of wrestling. And that brings us to, obviously, his legacy. His legacy beyond the ring. Hogan, his influence paved the way for future megastars like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena. It opened up doors in Hollywood. It opened up doors in other things other than professional wrestling. He made pro wrestling a global phenomenon. His name is still recognizable worldwide. All you got to do is look at the response. The guy got booed the last time we seen him because of obviously some of his political views and where he's been and some of the things that he's done. But look how people are mourning the legacy now and the controversies and the personal struggles that made him complicated, but his contributions to wrestling, quite frankly, are undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, Terry Bollea may be a controversial figure that some people are going to love or hate, but Hulk Hogan was universally, for the most part, loved and respected on a global stage as far as pro wrestling goes. He was the Michael Jordan of pro wrestling, the Mike Tyson of pro wrestling, the Tiger Woods. He was the biggest star.
At the end of the day, he isn't just a wrestler. He's a genre-defining figure who helped build the foundation of modern sports entertainment.
I agree.
To me, the closing for me is whether you loved him or you loved to boo him like I did, Hulk Hogan left an indelible mark on professional wrestling. He was the first superhero in spandex, the original crossover star, the man who made wrestling larger than life. So as we wrap up this portion of the tribute, let's remember the words himself. To all my Hulkamaniacs, what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and his legacy run wild on you?
I love it. Hulk Hogan, he was a legend.